What's going on, my guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Garrett with Game of the Beach. Very excited to be here with you today. It is Tribunal, so let's just try and find a that, and we should be good. We're trying out a little bit of a different deck today. I've actually seen a lot of different variations of this deck, and I wanted to share it with you guys because this one, I don't even know if this version has been working the best for me, or if there was a different version that's worked the best for me, because to be perfectly honest, I've already gone up and dropped trophies a little bit. But the combo is Ivy and Hex. Ivy and Hex has been working really, really well lately, and I want to kind of show off how I play Ivy Hex and what works really well with it. So there's a number of different decks that work really well with this combination, okay? You could either go with like Vampire and Frost. You could go with Vampire and Dryad. You could go with Harlequin and Summoner instead of Frost and Dryad. That's what I have in my deck. The deck that I'm playing, you kind of have a tough time in some matches because you're not gonna have a ton of mana built up. If you're going up against Shaman, it can be tricky because again, you don't have the maneuverability that you would if you were running Harlequin, Summoner, or even if you had a Vampire kind of leveled up. But these are the core cards that I feel this deck needs, Frost and Dryad. So I kind of just try my best to deal with the fact that I don't have a ton of mana and hope that I can just kind of build it up as the game goes on to put us in a better spot. But if you guys are enjoying this video, make sure that you guys are subscribed and hit that like button. But also check out those memberships. If you guys haven't heard, we have started a new tradition on this channel, which is the raffle of the Mallard mug. You guys know the Mallard mug. Now you too can get your very own Mallard mug. You see it right here. Got the logo, got the season that you guys are in right now, and then of course the Mallard, because after all, it is the Mallard mug. And all you got to do is go to the memberships, get a rare membership, and it puts your name automatically into the raffle. We'll do the draw at the end of the season. But yeah, so far so good. Let's just do this. I'll do that. Okay, there we go. So let's just do that. I'm actually going to do this right off the bat because you can see right away my highest priority with this deck is to get a high-ranking Hex on a high-ranking Ivy. That's pretty much it. And once you have that, you're in a much better spot for the long haul. Hopefully Hex will be doing its thing, chopping everything up. And then when you actually go up against bosses, your hope is that the HP of those bosses is significantly lower because of Hex than they would have been. And then your Crystalmancer and Slow can kind of take it out. So that's the idea behind this deck. And you can see already I'm trying my utmost to get that Hex as high level as possible, and now I'm going to continue to spam my board and hopefully get a little bit more of a full board. So let's see. I'll do that. We'll get Ivy up one time because I feel bad. Got a couple of Frosts out there, isn't the worst thing in the world. I'll level up my Frost and my Crystalmancer again because I feel bad. I'm neglecting them over there. Let's just do a little J because we can. I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to go over here now because that's a square. I'm going to go here, a little bit of lag spike. Get our Crystalmancer up again. And look at how well we're actually taking out units going up against a very typical deck. You know, nothing wrong with that. But Inquiz, Stasis, Harlequin, Summoner, but he's also got Ivy in there too. I can't speak. I don't know why. Let's just do this. And we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Crystalmancers working hard for us. So that should be plenty. And then we can kind of continue on with filling our board, which our board already looks decently good. I wouldn't mind having another either Hex or another high-ranking Ivy on that Hex. But with Crystalmancers and our card levels, I feel like we're okay right now. Tribunal coming up next. That can be a little bit tricky, but not the end of the world. Let's do that. Let's get Ivy up one more time. We want to really make sure that damage is going in. I could get my Crystalmancer to 3 because it's on a Hex. I'm going to. And maybe now we can just try and focus on what we're actually leveling up. So I'm going to do Crystalmancer because that's what's going to help us against Tribunal. But this is a little bit tricky. A little bit tricky. You can see Hex trying its best right there. We only have one Frost. I kind of hate going up against Tribunal and playing like this because I've got so much of a mana drought already that me trying to keep my board kind of scarce, it gets really, really sketchy to where the monsters get kind of far on your board and you're still not going to have a ton of mana to spam all the way down. But hopefully Hex can do a little bit of work here. And with the mana that we're gaining from all these Hex, come on Hex, do your thing. Hopefully then we can spam our board after Tribunal and get ourselves in a little bit better of a spot. 8 seconds to hold on. We're doing pretty decent here. And look at our board. It's pretty minimal. And 700 versus 2.2. That's exactly what we're trying to do. He's hit me with a good game. I don't really know why. But we've got a bunch of Crystalmancers trying hard. Obviously, he hasn't taken a hit yet. So it's definitely not a GG. Maybe he's thinking in the long run. I don't really know. But 1.5, he's got stasises. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes this out. But I'd be a little bit disappointed if he doesn't take this out. Or if he does take this out, I should say. Make sure that you guys also check out my live stream. We live stream every Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Would absolutely love to have you there. And yeah, definitely check it out. It's right here on YouTube to make it super, super simple. And we always get a great community. It's a bit of fun. Would absolutely love to see you guys there. But we got Bedlam coming up next. I mean, my main priority is to try and survive this wave. So, I don't even know what we can do. I was going to try and level up this guy again. But maybe it's not the most important thing. Let's do our Frost. I'm going to do that. All right, a Hex is well, that's a thing. 22 seconds. He's got a rank 5 Inquisitor over there. All right, let's do that. Let's do this. And at this point, we're going to just try and fill our board. 10 seconds. I'm really just hoping. I just used my J there, even though probably not the best play, but I just really didn't want to lose in this wave. And Bedlam's going to be a bunch of trouble. So what's his Bedlam? 2.7. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if he took Bedlam out. I'm not going to do anything because my board's just going to get too scarce. So I'm hoping that we can just keep on finding Crystalmancers to kind of help out. We got 2 working right now. The significance of the J slow is just so massive, guys. It's so big. Going from just having Frost to also having J combined in there, it's really important. It slows it down a lot. You can see his stasis is working really hard. I don't think I'm going to take this out. Well, I am very certain I'm not going to take this out, but I'm very certain that he's not going to take this out. And that right there is a GG. Pretty good game right there. You can see it's kind of a struggle the way that I play this because I don't have a vampire and I don't have any units that I'm spamming. But you definitely can find some wins. So let's try to jump into one more game just to really show this deck off so you guys can figure out how to play it on your own. And let me know. So I've seen, like I've said, I've seen a bunch of different variations of this deck. So whatever kind of works for you. Maybe you don't need Frost in there. I've seen plenty of people not run Frost in there and instead are using Harlequin Summoner. Sometimes people are using Vampire in there instead of whatever. So whatever makes you happy, whatever works best for you, try it out. This seems to be the one for me because I need to have Frost in there. If I don't have Frost, I feel like I just get outslowed every game. But maybe you don't. Maybe you've got higher ranking cards. Maybe you got a better, I don't know what it is. But let's jump right into here. All right, we got a high ranking Ivy. Don't mind that at all. So now all we need is to get a Hex next to that guy. And that would put us in a nice little spot. But we'll see if we can actually do that. Gonna hold off on combining out. Let's try and fill our board. Because then the fewer squares that we have on the board, the better chance that we're actually going to get a unit next to him before I just start combining out towards that unit. Another Dryad, don't mind that at all. We're going up against a slow deck, Crystalmancer slow deck, but with Reaper instead. I kind of like that. I used that deck for a little while. My Reaper's only level 11, and I didn't have as much success as some of you guys were actually saying that you guys did in the last season. So I like it, but I'm not necessarily scared of that deck, but that definitely doesn't mean that he can't beat me with it. So let's just continue on. Let's see if we can get a dub, and let's see if we can get a Hex next to this guy. But at the same time, Bedlam, there's a pretty good chance Bedlam will switch us around. But you can see right here, we've got two squares, one here and one here, that we've been trying to fill this whole time. And since I'm not combining anybody out, look, it's the last two squares left. Since I'm not combining anybody out, it gets down to those only two squares. So now we have the opportunity to do this, and now I'm hoping that we can actually take it out before Bedlam hits us. 51 to go through. Sometimes Jay gets like an instant kill effect. Nope, not this time. So we set our board up exactly how we wanted to, and no dice. So I'll do that. I'll do this. Okay. Alright, not terrible. Let's just do that. Let's do that. Whatever. That's fine. Let's get our Hex up as much as we can. We got a rank 2 Crystalmancer over there. And it is what it is. One thing that I do want to talk about in this is when you're leveling units up, if you guys have a square on your board like this, if you're going up against Bedlam, still don't shy away from combining into that square to level up that unit. Because Bedlam only changes the unit, it does not change the level of the unit. And that's really important to make that distinguishing thought, you know? Because if you're going up against Puppeteer, it might switch you around, which means whatever unit you had a high-ranking unit in that square may not be in that square after Puppeteer is done moving you around. But Bedlam, you'll always still have that high-ranking unit in that square. It just might not be a unit that you had before. So just a thought. So when you're combining out, think about that, and hopefully it'll help you. So let's try and level some of our stuff up here. Our Hex is doing a little bit of work, and we should be in a pretty good spot. I'm going to max out my Hex as soon as I can. Come on, Hex, do your thing. And then I'm going to do... I guess I'll do Crystalmancer just because we are going up against a boss very, very soon. Otherwise, I would have done either my Frost or my Ivy, but it should be fine. It's always interesting for me to check the stats after the game. I forget about half the time to check the stats, but it's still interesting if I ever do. Just because I feel like Reaper is such an interesting card to where I never know where its damage is going to be. So I'm always curious, right? So right now, he's doing the method where, maybe not on purpose, but right now his method is a bunch of Crystalmancers and a few, hopefully high-ranking Reapers, which normally I would say I think that's a good strategy. However, when I was playing that version of the deck, I had a ton of people telling me you got to have a bunch of Reapers for it to be effective. So maybe I should try and keep an eye on like what he's actually doing on his board, and see if he's actually getting a bunch of instant kills. It looks like he actually is getting a ton of instant kills. So let's see. Let's just do that. I'm going to do this. That should actually help out a ton. And let's do our J. I'm going to do this because I'm just leveling things up that are next to hexes. And honestly, I want to try and start building up some mana. So let's just try and fill our board from here and not touch our mana upgrades for the near future. But we're getting a little far here. 28 seconds, not the end of the world. Let's hit our J. I'm going to try and get one more unit on my board. There we go, another Crystalmancer. And hopefully these hexes can do a little work and clear some of these units. But the interesting thing about playing Ivy is that you get instant kills with hexes kind of all over your map. Hopefully you'll see it. There's a bunch of instant kills. Love that at the end of the wave. Don't you dare take a hit. And hopefully this Puppeteer is going to be a little bit lower HP. I feel like our monster, we got tons of monsters. 1.6 versus 1.7. We got 1,000 mana on our board, so let's just not touch anything here. And moving our Hex around. Hopefully it'll stay connected to an Ivy after this boss wave is done. but it's hard to know. It's definitely hard to know. So right now, we're in the exact spot we started. I'm going to hit my J as soon as I can, just so maybe it doesn't level us down all the way. We've only got one level up on our Hex. Is it going to move us back to spot numero uno? Oh, okay. So it moved us down once. Let's do our Frost a couple times. Ivy, Crystalmancer. I think that's pretty good for us right now. And I'm really hoping that Hex can kind of carry us here. Let me know in the comments in this point, if you guys are still in this video, let me know what upgrade you would do next. Would it be Hex? Would it be Frost? I'm going to do Hex. Because I want to try and thin the herd as much as I can. I don't think the damage of Ivy is what you should be focusing on. I feel like it's more the actual impact of Ivy that triggers Hex. So I'm not so worried about the damage of Ivy. I'm more worried about how often it's attacking. But 13 seconds is kind of a long time. They're getting pretty far on his board. I was going to hit my J, but let's hold off. 65k. Kill that little dude. Ooh. Oh, he took a hit. He took it. Oh. All right. He took a hit right there. 3.7 Gorgon, and he's got a 3.1. Honestly, he might be able to take out this Gorgon. The game's not over. The game is not over. I'm telling you. I think he'll take this out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take this out. Oh, it's trying its best. It's at a mil for him now. So I'm going to take a hit here. Oh, man, it's getting close. Freeze a couple of his... Oh, that was such a good freeze for him. Yeah, so he took it out. Well, not yet, but now he took it out. Yikes. Okay, so we're both going to take a hit here. We've got a max Hex. I think the next thing we need to focus on is our Frost. If we could do a Frost and an Ivy upgrade, I would love that. But we don't really have the mana as of right now, so let's just hold out. It's not the end of the world. We took a hit here, but we did slow it. Did we slow it longer than him? I don't even know if we slowed it longer than him or not because he killed his monster. But another... Oh, it's Bedlam, actually. I thought it was going to be another Gorgon. All right. Here we go, fellas. Let's do that. I'm going to use my J as soon as I see a Bannerlord. Let's do our Ivy. I keep wanting to call it a Poisoner. I'm just going to do this. Maybe that was good. We got another Hex. Don't mind that at all. I was just going to do that because if it turned into a Frost or anything like that, it could put us in a good spot. I'm going to level up my Crystalmancer next. And Bedlam, sometimes we're able to take out Bedlam because of just how slow and everything we're going. I'm going to spam my J one more time. Maybe it can trigger the Ivy Hex combination. But 14 seconds, he is going to have his trainer. He's going to use it right there. But I don't think that's going to hold it off for long enough. 3, 2, 1. And that is a victory. Level 18 trainer, and it came down to the very last second of the game before we got that victory. Let's check out the stats because I almost always forget. He does have a level 12 Reaper. It did 13 million damage. Well, yeah, if I was him, I'd be kind of annoyed because he did 3 million more damage than I, and we just did that much more slow, but that's the effect of J. That's exactly why people run J, is to win those close, slow battles. So he did out-damage me. My Hex did less than both of his damage units. My Crystalmancer obviously didn't do that much. And then Poisoner. See, I keep wanting to call it Poisoner. Ivy did even less, but again, most of that Hex damage was from Ivy. So definitely check out this deck, check out this combo, and let me know what you think is the best version of this combo. But that's going to be the end of this YouTube video, guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll check you guys out in tomorrow's video.